What is up, my beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. Now in today's video, I want to show you some of my favorite tips on how to manifest your dream business in 2020. Now, before I even dive into those tips, I want to talk about what I think 2020 has in store for us. So if you are new to me, basically what I do is that I help my clients attract more abundance and prosperity through Chinese metaphysics and marketing. And I've actually forecasted what the year is going to look like or entail. So in fact, if you actually want to discover what your personalized forecast is for 2020 based on your Chinese zodiac sign, then make sure you click on the link in my description, because I actually forecasted all 12 animal signs for 2020. Now, 2020 is the year of the metal rat. And when we look at the element metal, metal is really interesting because metal can basically be transformed into different tools when used properly and with good intentions, right? But if you don't do anything with metal, it kind of just sits there. So that's why I truly believe the year is going to be the same, right? Your year has the ability to be shaped and constructed based on what you decide to do with it. And you can actually create your year as a powerful tool for your life or your business. And one more thing is that you can actually choose not to move and do anything and stay exactly the same. Now, here's the thing. We are moving into a new decade with so many new opportunities as well as challenges. And really the world is moving at such a fast rate. And with it being a metal year, it's more important than ever before to really design, mold, and shape the opportunities that come your way, right? And I highly recommend anyone that's watching this video right now to make sure, most importantly, that your mindset is at its best. Because with all these different changes happening, it's really up to you to be flexible with everything that's going on, right? Like, it's up to you to actually change the way you look at things, right? Meaning not only are you going to plan your year to be ahead of the game, but also be flexible when things don't work out, right? I would say flexibility is the key word for 2020. Now, let's look at the animal aspect of 2020, right? So the rat is the first of the 12 animal signs. And if you don't know what the story is with the 12 animal signs in, Chinese zodiac, basically the rat is first because at the very last second when arriving at the Jade Emperor's palace, he hopped off of his friend's ox's back and basically came in first. So when I think of rats, I really see them as alert, adaptable, very observant, and above all, they are able to accommodate themselves in different circumstances quickly and effortlessly. And that's exactly the theme of 2020, right? On the positive side, rats have this ability to really adapt to changes in such a speedy way and pretty much get along with anyone, except humans, kidding. But rats also thrive off of, groups, right? In a pack of groups. But the negative side is that rats can also be quite stubborn and pessimistic and quite cunning. So be careful of those traits coming into 2020. Now, remember to check out what I have forecasted for each of the 12 animal signs by clicking on the link in the description. You're gonna love it. I even give you mantras and journal prompts, everything. Okay, so now that you have an idea of what 2020 has in store for all of us, let's dive into my top tips for manifesting your dream business in 2020. Okay, so my first tip for you is to manifest with the Tong Shoe calendar. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, well, what is the Tong Shoe? It's actually a traditional Chinese almanac, also known as the Everything Book, and the direct translation is to see clearly. And it's been regarded by the Chinese as an indispensable aid to daily planning for more than 2,000 years. Now, what's so special about the Tong Shoe is that every day contains different energies specific for a particular action. And we believe that by following these dates, we are doing the right thing at the right time. Ever heard of that saying? Well, we could also say date selection is the art of timeliness now, right? So if you want to learn more about how to manifest with the Tong Shoe, I'm actually doing a free 5-day online challenge to ring in the new year using the Tong Shoe. So make sure to check out the description below and you can join in on all the fun. But obviously, if you can't make it, make sure to give me a follow on Instagram because I actually post what activity to do on which days in my Instagram stories. So look out for that as well. Now, what I have found using the Tong Shu calendar, not only for myself, but for my clients, is that I'm really able to maximize the day's energy by doing certain activities or actions. For instance, one of my private clients recently hosted a grand opening for her new business, and I basically helped her pick certain dates with the Tong Shoe that has good energy based on her personality. And it turns out her event was a huge success, and she was able to book out her clients until February 2020. I know, it was incredible. So the Tong Shoe is such a great aid to help you plan certain activities, and especially since it's 2020, it's so crucial with the year to really plan things in advance. Okay, so speaking of planning ahead on good dates, this leads me to my next tip, which is to get super duper specific on the top 4 goals for each quarter of their business, right? So the problem is that most people are not specific with their goal. So when you're not specific, it's really hard for the universe to deliver to you what it is that you want, right? And obviously the Tong Shu calendar really helps with that type of planning. But for the purpose of this video, what you can do is pull out a sheet of paper or pull out your regular calendar, actually, and look into 2020 and start seeing what it is that you want to accomplish for quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4, right? So from January to March, which is quarter 1, what's the specific income goal that you want to hit? And actually, I would actually go beyond and even more specific and start scripting or visualizing what you would do after you hit that goal, right? Because it's not just like because of the money. I mean, going into business or starting a business is not just about the money. What I mean is that it's also about the impact that you will be having on the people that you are serving, right? So start planning what types of specific impact you'll be making in quarter 1, quarter 2, etc., etc. And another advice that's super important I have for you is to, again, like I said, go beyond the actual goal. So let's just say that your goal is to make, I don't know, $50,000 by the end of March. What will you be doing after you make that amount? Think of the specifics of how that money will help you make a greater impact, or even what you'll be doing in a particular scene. So our mind doesn't know the difference between what's fake or what's real, unless our subconscious calls BS on it. But normally that happens when you don't have belief in your goal. But I'll talk about that in another tip. But just remember to pick 4 specific goals for the whole year, 1 for each quarter, and start writing a movie about the results in full detail. Again, what I mean by movie is like, again, your brain loves to imagine things. And when you're able to create a scene in your head and actually visualize it and see that picture so vividly in your head, it's just so much easier for you to manifest things faster instead of you just wishfully thinking, right? You are very specific on the outcome and what those goals are. Like what happens after you make the amount of money, right? Like what are you actually doing? Really paint that picture. Okay, so the third tip that I have for you is to rewire your subconscious by listening to hypnosis while you sleep. So here's the thing, I was doing some research, and basically in 2012, some scientists at Northwestern University actually published a very interesting study. And according to the study, if you've been practicing a specific piece of music, hearing it again while sleeping actually helps you play it more accurately when you wake up. And the study showed that the brain does not switch off during sleep. So instead of dozing off, the brain is busy reviewing and storing memories. But the brain is actually more active while we sleep than we previously believed. And according to this study, the brain processes auditory information just as it would when we're awake. So not only that, but the brain actually responds to more meaningful information, right? So the brain is actually engaging with verbal information even if we're fast asleep. And I'm gonna actually link that article in the description below. But here's the thing, I listen to a hypnosis every night before I go to bed. And I truly believe that the words that we say to ourselves make such a huge impact on our behaviors. I mean, I can't speak for anyone else, but for me personally, ever since I listened to hypnosis, I really see myself perform better, have more confidence, get over my anxious thoughts faster when I am awake and conscious. And if you have never tried hypnosis, I really encourage you to try it. There are a lot of free hypnosis videos here on YouTube, and it really doesn't hurt to try, right? And what I actually used to do in the very beginning was keep a journal and document things if you have to. Because when you document things, you can really see the progression that you're making in your life. Okay, so the fourth tip that I'm going to share with you is to work on your belief system by manifesting small things and building them up. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I see way too many people try to manifest with huge goals. And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with having big goals. However, when you are just starting out with manifestation, it's really hard for your subconscious mind to believe that you can actually achieve that goal. So, okay, take running a marathon, for example. So if you have this big dream of finishing a marathon, you're not going to just start training for a full-blown marathon, right? It would probably make more sense for you to sign up for, I don't know, like a 5K. Now, once you complete that race, you would have built the muscles and your subconscious mind wouldn't be freaking out trying to understand what the heck is going on, right? That's also why I'm such a huge fan of using I am becoming affirmations as opposed to I am affirmations. Now, the word becoming is a good segue word to use to basically trick your mind to make it more believable before it completely rides you off as a fraud, right? Because I help a lot of my clients actually build personal brands and coach them on their imposter syndrome and basically helping them feel confident enough to raise their prices or go after clients, a lot of them are asking themselves like, am I an expert? All that stuff, questioning themselves. And the truth is that you are an expert to someone who are a few steps behind you, right? Right. So the truth is, let me remind you, if you are someone who wants to do something, but you're held back because of this limited belief that you have, or actually I used to have this limited belief like, well, there's so many experts out there, then who am I to actually talk about what I want to talk about? The truth is that you have no idea what kind of impact you can have on someone, or just even with just one person, just because you chose to really share your message, right? Like I still get a lot of messages from people that thank me for my message because it resonated with them. So what I would do is I would advise my clients on using the affirmation I am becoming an expert as opposed to I am an expert. And again, there's no wrong answer. I mean, you can use whatever affirmation feels good for you. Again, because I feel like sometimes people make such a huge leap and then when they don't hit their goals, they get super disappointed in themselves. It's because they haven't gave themselves enough runway to start off with, right? So start off using words like becoming, right? Because you are becoming an expert. Even if you are one and you don't feel like one, use the word becoming. I am becoming more, I don't know, organized and consistent. I'm becoming a 6-figure entrepreneur. This is something that I have to tell my clients all the time because they just cannot seem to embody that. So instead, use the word becoming because that would make so much more sense to your subconscious mind than I am. Okay, so this brings me to my next tip that I have for you, which is to use your feelings and surrender to the outcome. So make no mistake about it, right? But one of the most important aspects of manifestation, I literally have a hair in my mouth, is using your emotions to drive the process. Now, lack of emotional energy is one of the mistakes that most people actually make when they're trying to manifest literally anything. And basically, especially if they're new to the law of attraction, most people think it's all about like visualization or like holding that goal in your mind. But really, yes, intention is really important. But the answer to that question really is that energy, more specifically like your energy, is the only place where you can actually generate that level of energy around manifestation from your emotions. So here's the thing. The best example is something I experienced today, actually. So basically, I woke up this morning in a pretty good mood, but what threw off my morning was that when I went to go check my email, my G Suite account was suspended my account, basically. And the reason was because the bank supposedly like stopped payment or whatnot. So here I am, unable to check any of my emails when I had all these important projects to take care of, and I was like freaking out, okay? So my emotions were just anger, it was like annoyance, I had to call G Suite, Google, I had to call my bank, try to figure all these out, and it took me 2 hours, okay? And after that conversation, I was just left in this feeling of like annoyance. And throughout, like literally today, like until I actually fixed my feelings and fixed the way I was thinking, the day just kind of went sour, right? Like I had an argument with my boyfriend. I stubbed my toe. It was just like a snowball effect of all these negative emotions. And what I realized, it was because I kept buying into that feeling, right? And it wasn't until around like 2 o'clock, I was like, wait, hold up. Like, what's happening? I can't continue my day like this, feeling like all this stressful energy. So I went to meditate, and I went back into visualizing and feeling the feelings that I wanted to feel at the end of the day. So I had to literally press a big reset button and be like, Kristen, okay, like you had a shit morning, but it's okay, you can turn it around. So my last tip for you is to really buy into those feelings, because basically the feeling is what triggers the vibration, right? Everything's vibrational, and it's gonna help you with attracting the things that you want. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense at all, leave me a comment and let me know so that I can answer them. But that's what happened today. Now, if you love the hacks or the tips that I gave you so far, then make sure you hit the notification bell and subscribe to my channel so that you'll get notified the next time I give away more tips and hacks and secrets that will help you in your life and business. And if you want to learn more about mindset, marketing, and metaphysics, then make sure you check out these 2 videos right over here. All right, I love you guys, I appreciate you, and I cannot wait to bring even more goodies for you next time. See ya!